All right, Mr. Snow, you're all set. Have a good meeting.
Thank you. Are we
You're all set, Mr. Snow. You're good to go.
great? Thank you very much. Good evening. And just making sure our members, who do we have on? Do we have Richard?
Not tonight.
So no Richard. I see Doug. You said Penny will be on.
Yes.
Talk with Jen. Andy is not,
Doesn't look like it at this point.
and I see Brendan. Okay, great. All right, so I'm gonna just do the opening piece here. Welcome to the July 17th meeting of Scituate Conservation Commission. This meeting is being held remotely as an alternate means of public access pursuant to Chapter 20 of the Acts of 2021, temporarily amending certain provisions of the open meeting law. You are hereby advised that this meeting and all communications during this meeting may be recorded by the town of Scituate in accordance with the open meeting law. And then number two, the town of Scituate's commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion. The Scituate Conservation Commission is committed to providing an environment of respect during our meetings. We ask all members to interact in a polite manner, even when there is disagreement. We value the participation of our community and want all participants, including marginalized and minoritized communities, to feel welcomed and respected. We ask our committee members and all who participate to commit to these standards and support and respect our community. Thank you. So we have an agenda and a couple of little add-ons to the, one more thing I'd like to add on to the agenda is discuss the possibility of using Appleton Field as part of the Mount Hope events in October. I'll bring that up at the end of the meeting, as well as a couple of other updates. Anybody else want to make any additions or omissions?
Nope.
Okay,
None.
great. 29 Surfside Road, then let's roll right into meetings. That was continued from 6/26. This is Morse Engineering.
Oh, Frank's, all right, so you did roll call and then we just.
Oh, I'm sorry.
voted to accept the agenda?
Yeah, I'm sorry. You're right. Do I have a motion to accept the agenda?
I make a motion, we accept the agenda.
That's
I'll
from
second it.
Jen, second from Brendan. All in favor, Doug?
Yes.
Frank, yes. Okay. So now we can go. So 29 Surfside Road.
Yeah, I just unmuted Greg Moore. So this is a continuation of a public hearing that was held on June 26th, and there were just a couple of items. One was that we had received the revised plans that changed the project. And so I don't think we need a complete review of the project again, Greg, but if commission wants to go through any remaining concerns, or you want to give us update on any other changes you made to the revised plan, would be great.
Sure, thank you. For the record, Gregory Morse, representing the property owners Phil and Charlotte Coleman. As was just stated, this is a continued public hearing. This was a notice of intent for their property at 29 Surfside Road. We had originally proposed a garage addition at this property and a patio out back along the seawall. Due to the comments that we received from the DEP and the commission at our June hearing, we've scaled back the project. We submitted a revised plan in June. We've scaled it back so that the project now is just the construction of decking along the front and sides of the house. We've removed the patio that was out back by the seawall, and we've removed the proposed garage structure. So it's an extremely small scale project at this point. The deck is constructed on sonotubes. On the plan, we included a detail of the sonotubes, that no footing would be involved with the sonotube construction because it's on a barrier beach at this location. And again, we removed the patio that was out back along the seawall. I think we've provided everything the commission asked for. I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, Greg. Amy, you want to comment?
Yeah, thanks for the revised plans. And I think this is an approvable project. Also noted was the removal of that patio that we had commented about. Did get some false information. I think it was just about work, maybe, as Greg had said, it was, maybe taking some overwash and, grading that out. But there was not a patio for, that was false information. So we should be good to close.
Okay. Jen Foley. any-
Yeah, yeah, I've got nothing. Looks good.
Okay. Doug?
Well, I'm not looking at a plan. Are we supposed to be?
Well, we are minus Jen Smith this evening. There we go.
Yep. There we go. Okay. Yeah, now I remember this. Yeah, no, I'm
Sorry about that.
good. Thanks for doing that, just so I can say, yeah, I'm all good.
Did we get Penny yet?
No Penny.
Okay. Brendan, you're up.
I'm up and I'm good.
And I think I'm fine as well. So I'll take a motion to close. Or anybody in the audience? Do we have anybody else that wanted to speak to this?
Yep, use a raise hand feature if you want to chime in. Seeing none, Frank.
I'll take a motion to close.
I'll make a motion to close.
It's Doug.
Yep.
I'll take a second from
I'll
somebody.
second that, Brendan.
Brendan, all in favor, Jen
Yes.
and Frank, yes. Great. Thank you, Greg.
Thank you.
436 Chief Justice Cushing. The applicant's requesting a continuance to August 21st. We have can I get a motion on that?
Oh,
Go
Wait,
ahead,
Jen.
Doug.
okay. I make a motion to continue 439 Chief Justice Christian Highway to August 21st, 2023.
I'll second that.
From Brendan, all in favor, Jen
Yes.
and Frank, yes. Great. Number 8, Westgate Lane. They're also requesting a continuance to August 21st.
I'll make a motion to continue 8 Westgate Lane to August 21st.
It's Doug, second from somebody.
Second from Jen.
Thank you, Jen. All in favor, Brendan
Yes.
and Frank, yes. Okay, 274 Central Ave.
Okay, so this is,
I need to open this.
actually, this is one you should open. Do you have
Yep.
the hearing notice? Okay, good.
Actually, was I supposed to open Westgate, 8 Westgate? Had we opened, I have a notice here to open 8 Westgate.
Oh, and then continue. Okay.
So my apologies. I thought we did this one, but it's in my packet to open it. We are at a loss without Jen Smith here, or at least I am. I'm going to go back to 8 Westgate. My apologies. On 7/17/23 at 6 p.m., the Scituate Conservation Commission will hold a wetlands hearing under Chapter 131, Section 40 of the Massachusetts General Laws and Section 30700 Town of Scituate Code of Bylaws regarding the application of Dina Wigmore for work related to raise and rebuild of a single-family dwelling at location 8 Westgate Lane, Scituate. Abutters and other interested parties are invited to attend. Information to access the meeting will be available on the agenda posted on the town website. Okay, with that done, they're requesting a continuance, so I have to put
So
you through
voted.
it. So voted.
Right.
Okay, done. So now
274 Central.
274 on 7/17/23 at 6 p.m. The Situate Conservation Commission will hold a hearing under Chapter 131, Section 40, Massachusetts General Laws, and Section 30700 Town of Situate Code of Bylaws regarding the application of Matthew and Kristen Volke, Matura, for work related to an expansion of a deck and a single-family dwelling at location 274 Central Ave, Scituate. Abutters and other interested parties are invited to attend. Information to access the meetings available on the agenda posted on the town website. And I apologize for however I said that name. So this is Morse Engineering.
Yes, good evening. Gregory Morse, registered engineer, Morse Engineering, representing the applicant. As was just stated, this is a notice of intent for their property located at 274 Central Ave. That's in the Hummerock section of town. It's located on a barrier beach. There's an existing home here. It's located in land subject to coastal storm flowage. It's a velocity zone at elevation 18, which encompasses the entire site. Topography at the site ranges from elevation 8 along Central Ave to a high point where the home is constructed approximately at elevation 10, and then it slopes back off to the Atlantic Ocean, being elevation approximately 4. The proposal here is to construct a new deck. The deck is approximately 12 by 36. It's located on the oceanfront side of the house. It's an elevated deck on timber piles. We provided structural plans prepared by Rivermore Engineering, documenting that they would be wood-driven piles. The structure itself would not be attached to the house, but it would be about 1 inch away from the existing structure. It's elevated above the velocity zone. It matches an existing deck, which is on the southern side of the house at elevation 19.6. There's no change to the ground surface topography here. There's no change to the flood characteristics, and it allows water and soil to freely flow to and from the site. I turn it over to you for questions or comments.
Amy?
Yeah, so,
I'm not hearing you, Amy.
I hear her.
I do.
I can hear her. Yeah.
okay, great. So, excuse me, this is a approvable project, accessory structure to the main structure on driven piles, meeting mass building code, construction requirements for coastal resource areas, barrier beach, coastal dune, velocity zone. We do have the structurals in hand. DEP had no comment. I do think this is something that you could condition and close this evening. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. Let's see, we don't have Richard here this evening. Doug?
I don't think I have any questions. It's just, it's an open deck, right?
Correct. It's just a deck platform. Yep.
On top piles. No, it seems pretty straightforward. I don't think I have any questions about that at all.
Okay. Did we get Penny yet? Okay, Jen?
Yeah, I think I'm good. Seems pretty straightforward.
Okay, Brendan?
I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do we have anybody in the audience for 274 Central Ave that we want to speak to this project?
Seeing none, Frank.
Okay. So Greg, just a quick one. So was there anything here before, or is this going on an area that has just been kind of a dune, or?
I believe it's just an area that's part of the dune. I'm not aware of any structure being in this location previously.
Okay. All right. I don't really have anything else. No, I think I'm good. I would take a motion on this one.
I'd make a motion to close 274 Central Ave.
That's Doug.
A second
Uh,
from Jen.
Great. All in favor, Brendan
Yes.
and Frank, yes. Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Are we done with you for tonight?
We are. Have a good evening.
Great, you too. Thank you. All right, 17 Pond View. Who do we have? The applicant is Chris Lyons.
Leiden.
Leiden, sorry. So if you want to go ahead and,
So, yeah, I'm the owner of 17 Pond View, and I'm just requesting approval
oh,
for,
you know what? I'm sorry. I gotta open this. I realize
Okay.
this is a new one. My apologies.
Yep. well, I apologize for my lack of writing and
We'll get through it. On July 17th, during the 6 p.m. meeting, the Scituate Conservation Commission will act on the request of Chris Leiden for determination of applicability of the Massachusetts Wetlands Protection Act and the Scituate Wetlands bylaws for activity related to installing 6 concrete footings for a deck at a single-family dwelling at 17 Pond View Ave, Scituate. Abutters and other interested parties are invited to attend. Information to access the meeting is available on the agenda posts on the town website. Sorry, Mr. Leiden, go ahead.
so yes, just seeking approval for the 6 sonotubes for the deck. They'd be 12-inch tubes, 4 feet deep. We already, the deck is there, but they're, we just have it on temporary supports pending approval for the sonotubes.
Okay. Jen, I will go back to you since you're in that neighborhood.
Yeah, I don't, did Amy have anything? I mean, I can go, but normally we go to,
Did you say, you want me to go first? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Amy, sure, I'm sorry.
Okay, yeah, so actually this one, I don't know, it's getting a little bit sketchy now because a little bit of time has gone by, but Chris came to the office because he needed to rebuild this deck. And so was willing to kind of take the risk of starting the work without the permission. So he actually filed this as an after the fact. Although it is my understanding that the sonotubes are not officially really in the ground, the new tubes that he's putting in, but the deck is done. But meanwhile, also, we did in the early spring get a complaint about the lot across the street, which he also owns, and having cut down the phragmites on the edge of Musquashkett. So that's a separate matter under enforcement. But anyways, this is just seeking the approval for the sonotubes. It's within the 100-foot buffer to BVW of that pond and flood zone. But it is something that typically would get a negative determination.
Okay, thank you.
so the enforcement matter is separate from this, even though there's like, what's the status of?
Well, I think it warrants
that.
discussion maybe at the same time, since we're
Okay.
on the property.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe Chris can say what happened, but I mean, I think he was thinking that it was okay to cut it down based on some literature that he had seen. And then, found out that you actually can't alter wetland buffer plants without permits. And so we've had some back and forth. But meanwhile, I went by there today and it's pretty much come back. So the stuff voraciously does come back.
I'd also be interested in understanding the 2 mature trees that were removed, to one of them to make room for this deck. That feels like something that would have required prior approval. And if there's any other site things that would be happening, like there's the older concrete walkway, like is Mr. Leiden planning on removing that? Just so we have a full picture of what's happening, and this isn't just like incremental, I just need these, 6 sonotubes.
Sure, when the trees came down, I wasn't aware that there was approval required. And that tree didn't come down because of the deck. I broke my heart to take that tree down. It was just basically on top of the house. And it was just too overgrown. If it was out in the middle of the lot, I would have gladly kept it, but it was just, it was too overgrown and on the house. No, anything else? I just, as far as any, landscaping plans, I'll come back. I just obviously had to get this. And when I filed for the building permit, they told me that I needed conservation approval. So when I spoke to Amy and I said, can I hang the deck first? And she said, fine. And then when I mailed the paperwork, oddly, I didn't have enough postage on it, and the post office had it for over a month. So this would have been in front of you probably in your last meeting, but my application was lost in the mail. You can see I filed things electronically. I filed everything electronically a while ago. I handed it to the postman where I live, and he said it was fine, and I didn't get it back for a month. So, but no, I was unaware. I didn't know for the trees. I also had a sewer installed. I didn't know. I just hired someone. Permits were pulled, and it went in. I didn't know that. What needed approval and what didn't need approval.
Okay, when you say
Yeah,
you
I
had
mean, I don't. Go
Go
ahead,
ahead.
Frank.
No, when you
No,
said
go ahead.
sewer installed, was it a new septic system or a sewer connection?
Sewer connection.
So the sewer connections were kind of permitted as a lump with the town. When the town got a permit to do this resewering in the mined area, and when they did that, it included the connections for the houses.
Oh, okay.
So that was done as a large filing for that sewer expansion project, and that encompassed all the folks that were connected. Their sewer connection was part of that. But if you went further than that, then you had to come before the commission. And I think it sounds like you're getting. How long have you had the house, Mr. Leiden?
I purchased it, let me think, maybe last August.
Okay, so
And I apologize. I just, we had machines, digging giant holes in the property for the sewer, and it never occurred to me that I needed approval for trees or for the footings.
So we have different levels of approval. We have a minor activities one. So if you have a tree that's overhanging the house or some other small insignificant work that you need to do, you can come to the commission and just request a minor activities permit. When it gets more involved, like expanding your home or deck or something like that, then you file before the commission sort of a modified version of a full notice of intent is what we call an RDA. So we try to keep it a little more simplified. And then if it was major work, then you would file a notice of intent. So I guess you're getting the thing, you're getting the feel for what's required. And we do this with all the homes along there with the hopes of better protecting the pond and other wetlands or resource areas around the town. And it's not meant to intrude in your property, but collectively, if everybody does a good job of maintaining the areas around that, hopefully the resource areas will be better as well. So that's what we look to do with these, and we realize that a lot of them are already altered. You know, that home's been there a long time, and certain things were done from year to year, well beyond some of these regulations. But the idea is to follow these now, and if you have something that's coming up, it's best to check in with the commission. I guess Amy's probably explained to you that dealing with the Phragmites, it's not that we don't want people to remove them, but we want them to understand what they're doing when they remove those, so that we don't have other issues with that
Yes.
area.
Yes, no, I understand.
Okay.
Yeah. And so, you know, like I said, the prior owner obviously didn't, didn't maintain the property. So as far as the trees and whatnot, if I had known, and I've done, I work with the DEP. I've done, multiple environmental cleanups in Boston. So I'm very familiar with, I'm learning, about the wetlands, but I've spent a lot of money on cleaning up properties. So you won't have any problems with me down there.
Well, I appreciate you're getting to the bottom of this, so thank you. Do we anybody want to make a motion on this?
So
It
Amy,
would be,
Is this an RDA?
remediation for
it is. So it'd be a -3, I believe, would be the correct.
Well, I'll make a motion
well-
for -3.
Well, let's
Hey,
Penny's on,
Penny's
by the
here.
way.
Hey,
Amy, you were gonna say?
Well, I was gonna say, are we trying to roll something else in about like restoration regarding trees or just like a formal statement that must file for future work? For any Phragmites work, I mean, like that type of thing, or is it just a straight up -3 for this project alone? With the other conversations continuing.
I mean, I think if we could kill two birds with one stone, that's like a win. Like, is there any?
not for the bird.
Well, that's true. Actually, this is the wrong place to say that. We love birds here. If we could take two Phragmites with one stone, is there like plantings or something, Amy, that you think would be reasonable to make up for the mature trees and the?
Well, I mean, just planting a replacement tree or two would be what I would recommend for the trees. But I do think the lot across the way, if we roll that into this, it would get a little complicated.
Yeah,
Actually.
Oh, okay.
And
Then
I have a
don't.
question. And I have a question as far as, do I need permission to plant a tree? That's what I didn't know. I
We're
haven't.
gonna, if we put it in the orders, then you got your permission.
No, because that's, I mean, obviously the next stage would be landscaping. I'm looking to plant, I want to plant a number of trees. I just didn't know if I had to submit that to you or if I can just, I'm allowed to plant trees.
As a rule, we'd like to have like a comprehensive plan. That's why she mentioned the walkway or something like that, rather than for you to have to keep coming back and filing different things with the commission. Can we, sort of make this more inclusive? And the Phragmites is a little more complicated. So I think, like Amy said, that might be outside the box, but if there were, we'd obviously like to have a couple of trees replanted, and maybe we could just, I don't know that we really need to know exactly what's going in or whatever. But if we had we don't want to give a carte blanche permission to re-landscape. It would just be good to know what your plans are as you're in that resource area. So if you're restoring the lawn, if you're planting some additional vegetation, sort of what those plans might be.
Yes, so my plan is, I've just recently started to spend some time in the home, so getting used to it, but yes, my plan would be to landscape it, in the fall and redo the lawn. But I just wasn't sure, like I said, if I have to submit, a plan to you. I've just been, trying to finish the inside of the house, and then obviously the landscaping is the next step, and it's, I missed the springtime, so the perfect time to do it will be in the fall. But, absolutely, I'm looking to plant a number of trees, shrubs, and, do some significant landscaping to the property.
So Amy, do you want to get some sort of, can you get some sort of sketch or drawing or just something simple to that regard?
Yeah, well, I'll put in a sentence about a landscaping plan to be submitted and we'll take a look at it.
Sure.
But I mean, there are certain provisions that exempt certain landscaping things, so it depends, but we would like, at a minimum, the replacement of the couple of trees.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
And
So
like
if
I
you
said,
could,
I did not, that tree I would have kept, my insurance company wouldn't have allowed it. It was on, literally on top of the house,
Yeah,
okay. So why don't we do that, Mr. Lyden, if you can make a little drawing, the backyard and submit that we can put that along with this filing.
Sure. I'll have someone do a little more professional job than I would do, so it'll be a little better than my boss.
That'd be,
Yeah.
that would be great. And then get that approved, get it to the office so Amy has a chance to take a look at it and comment. All right.
Sure, absolutely.
Okay.
Can we still close this or,
yeah,
or no, we'll close it? What do? We make a
Give it-
determination. We
Yep.
need. we
make a
need pa-
determination, yeah.
So-
You know, and I
so-
just realized that the screen sharing situation, I can't just start messing around and looking at other things, even though I have a dual screen. Because apparently I share it, so.
Yep.
Sorry about that, folks.
That's all right. We've
Just
been
to
looking
throw
at,
you off course a little bit, you're probably wondering what that was, but sorry. You can make a motion on that other one.
okay, so Penny, you were ready to make a
Yeah,
motion.
I make a motion for -3.
That's Penny. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Second
From
from Jen. Oh,
He beat you. All in favor,
I
Jen,
know. Yes.
Brendan,
Yes.
and Frank, yes. Great. All set. Good evening. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thanks.
133 Clap Road, Crocker Design, on 7/17/23 during the 6 p.m. meeting, the Scituate Conservation Commission will act on the request of CDG 33 Clap Street LLC for a determination of applicability of the Massachusetts Wetlands Protection Act and the Scituate Wetlands Bylaw for activities related to removing pavement and replacing with lawn at single-family dwelling located at 333 Clap Road, Lot 6, Scituate, Mass. Abutters and other interested parties are invited to attend. Information to access the meetings available on the agenda posted on the town website. So did I read there's two of them here. There's one for, because there's two lots. Can we do these together?
I'm confused.
So there's lot 5 and lot 6. One of them's temporary construction disturbance and the other one's removal of pavement.
I think although they're next to each other, on this case, I think you should do them separately.
All right, so I just opened
Lot 5.
lot 6.
Okay, well,
So I did
read
it
the other
backwards.
public hearing notice and we'll just go through each lot separately though. Because
Okay,
they have separate projects.
Right. So on 7/17/23 during the 6 p.m. meeting, the Scituate Conservation Commission will act on the request of CDG 33 Clap Street LLC for determination of applicability in the Massachusetts Wetlands Protection Act and the Scituate Wetlands Bylaws for activities related to temporary disturbance during construction of a single-family dwelling at location 133 Clap Road, Lot 5, Scituate. Abutters and other interested parties are invited to attend, and information to access the meetings available on the agenda posted on the website. Okay,
Okay, so for this project, we have, and so this is administrative items, this is in. Oh, no, I'm sorry, this is public meeting item, request for determination of applicability. And this is Crocker Design Group, Josh Green is on the line.
For the record, Josh Green, Crocker Design Group. I believe back in March, we were here in front of the commission for the ANRAD to lock in the wetland line as well as the riverfront area. Since then, we've developed a site plan for a new house. In doing so, we kept all the work outside of the 200-foot riverfront. However, looking at the plan, we recognize we're basically gonna have to access around it, which just goes into the 200-foot riverfront area. So while there isn't work there will be temporary disturbance. So we wanted to submit the RDA to get the commission's feedback on it. Outside of that, it'll be erosion control down on the down grade inside for the entirety of the lot. And that I'll turn it over for questions. That's lot 6. Lot
This-
5's the new one.
Lot 5's this one, right?
Correct.
Yeah. Oh, no, that's because this is the new lot, so this is.
Lot 5 is the new one.
No.
Oh, wait a minute, okay, so this is that existing house.
I do the same thing every time I look at the plans.
all right, so right now we're discussing Lot 5, which is the new home,
No.
okay? And that's what is up on the screen. So, Doug
Um,
or Amy, do you want to have do you have
yeah,
comments
go
first?
for me.
Sure, yeah, so actually I met with Josh and Gabe on both of these projects to kind of go over what was the best way to probably go through these. And we came up with this plan to kind of pull the projects as much out of your jurisdiction as possible moving forward. So on the existing house where they are taking down a portion of the house. But is this really anyways?
So you're talking about the existing house. So we're on the new house. That was where
Yeah,
the
we're on
pool
the
is.
new house. Okay, so this one. Yeah, where you're taking down a portion of the house and building out a portion that's gonna be outside of your jurisdiction. Where the only work that's really in your jurisdiction right here is just
that's-
removal of a portion of the driveway.
That's
Yeah.
lot 6.
And
That's
that's
the wrong
lot
one.
6.
Yeah, so we're on lot 5, I think still, right?
Okay, so lot 5 is the new house. And lot 5, again, the work is by and large out of your jurisdiction.
Is that the purple line of riverfront?
Yeah. The pink
Okay.
bull description.
Yeah. And lot 5 is under, and my understanding is, has a pending stormwater review application with the planning board currently.
Yeah, we got peer review comments. We responded to them. None of them changes the back portion of the property. So nothing near conservation jurisdiction.
And I think that both of these projects would meet the requirements of a negative finding.
All right. Doug?
So that, my question was going to be that whether or not that triggered stormwater with the size of those houses, but you're saying the planning board's they're in doing the stormwater review, so we are not.
Correct.
All right,
We don't have to worry about it.
that's good.
Yes.
Yeah, so like looks like there's a little bit of yard back behind within the 200. That red dotted line is the limit of work, or is it that being cleared?
It's all lawn existing.
It's existing lawn now.
Yeah, the lawn goes back to almost the 100-foot right now. So it's all the whole entire property is lawn with some minor bushes, but the limit of work doesn't go back that far.
Okay. And that proposed outlet that's coming out right next to the garage that's dumping out, that's part of the stormwater review as well?
On the new house, there's a splash pad off the corner
Yeah,
of the
it looks like
garage.
there's, is that the roof drains tied together and then going out a,
Well, there's a couple of them, actually. There's one off that little detention area. And then there's one that looks like it picks up the roof drains.
No, it's a little confusing because they're overlaid a little bit. So the two that are by the house are for the foundation drains. The
Okay.
one that's up closest to where the existing house is, that's part of the stormwater and the roof drains and the subsurface.
gotcha. Okay, I apologize. I'm trying to look on this screen. I was looking in my email, trying to find so I could pull up a full-size plan, but I'll stop looking for that. All right, I think I'm good for now. Let make the rounds.
Doug, I can forward you this whole file. It's the conservation files for the July 17th meeting.
Okay, yeah, it must be in my email. I just, was struggling to find that, but I'm good. Like my big question was just stormwater, and that's been answered. So it's off the hook, actually.
Okay. All right, Penny?
I believe I'm all set. I'm just I finally am realizing, I didn't know there were two lots there, Dieselman, it just finally registered where we are on Clap Road. I'm fine with it, Frank, thank you.
Okay, Jen?
Yeah, I think I'm all set.
Okay. Brendan?
I'm all set, thanks.
Cool.
Do we have anybody in the audience? So right now we're discussing lot
The new
5,
one,
the new one, right?
yeah, out back behind.
Josh, is there erosion control on this plan?
Yep, the red line is your silt fence.
Got it. Okay. And is there any proposed changes to the back? I know that, this is an older piece of property where a lot of clearing was done right back to or into the wetlands. Is there any proposed changes to any of that?
Not right now. I mean, most of the lot itself is going to remain the lawn where it is. But outside the 100-foot basically is 100-foot riverfront area. I think it falls somewhere around the 50-foot for the bordering vegetated wetland. It's kind of where the plantings start. They're within the lawn area.
I'm just seeing, where this gets divided like this, so the lot for or the land for the existing home sort of wraps around in back of this other house,
Oh,
lot 5.
yeah,
And there's an area, it looks like maybe there's some sort of stone pit or pond or something. And it's almost like pretty clear that something was filled there at one point. That's why the wetlands sort of jog out.
May have. I mean, if I had to guess, it'd be an old burn pit, but not entirely sure. I mean, there aren't any plans for anything back there.
So when you say there aren't any plans, it's going to be kept clear, or
It's gonna be,
it's going to be
that's how it
or
is.
allowed
I mean,
or allowed to revegetate, or
I would imagine partially. I mean, there isn't a lot of maintainable lawn back there. As far as where it bends back, that's kind of how it's kept now. I don't know if the pictures in the RDA application show it well enough, but back there is relatively wet, even in the lawn area. It holds the water with the types of soils that are out there. So
right?
I don't envision them being able to do much back there, even if they wanted to. So I can't say how the next,
Well, I
process
guess
will
that's
go.
that's my point. I'm wondering if, I realize a lot of this is out of our jurisdiction, but we often put some conservation markers and encourage people not to go into these areas. And I'm just wondering if,
We'd be happy to
it-
put them on the other lot when we go to the existing house.
Oh, man.
okay, yeah, no, well, I think that's where they would belong.
Yeah,
So,
That,
okay,
that won't be a problem when we get there.
okay. Sounds good. I don't have anything else. Do we have anybody in the audience on this one?
Saying none, Frank.
Okay. So take a motion for lot 5.
Nick, this is an RDA, right?
Yes, Penny.
Yeah, I'll make a motion for -3.
That's Penny. Doug?
Did anyone second it?
I'll second it, Brendan.
Okay. And then I'll say yes.
Second from Brendan. Yes from Doug. Jen?
Yep.
And
The
Frank,
heat's
yes.
getting to us all.
I guess it's been a long day. Sorry.
Yes.
Okay, Josh, thank you. All right, let's go to the lot 6. You want to give us a little lowdown on that one?
Oh, I didn't know if we had to read it in.
I think I read both of them, didn't I? In the
You
beginning?
did.
Yeah.
Yep.
you did.
You're all set.
So this one's the existing house. We're gonna be doing addition for it. It's outside of jurisdiction. The only part that's inside the riverfront area is the old driveway wrapped around to the back. We want to remove the pavement that would now be in the back of the house. So all of that's coming up and it'll be loam and seeded. So again, the only work there, removing a pavement, put down loam and then seed at the end. Tilt fence along the down gradient side. It'll connect into where lot 5 was. So it'll just be a continuous barrier all along the two properties. Outside of that, we can talk about where we want the conservation markers. And take questions.
Existing house proposed. Very good. Proposed. Can I
Amy,
just, oh,
Amy, do you want to comment first?
Sure, well, on this one, yeah, I guess I did kind of combine all my comments on both. You know why? Because on this one, it's, I don't know, there's just a lot going on. And it's not really clear to me, the lot didn't really pop out on the other one. But anyways, on this one, it is adjacent to that resource area, right? And so this is where during the NRAD process, we did note that there was, some debris and trash in the resource area itself, some little footbridges, a pipe from the original house or pool going out and discharging, like some kind of an old drain. But yeah, this is the lot where you have the biggest opportunity to kind of weave in some improvements. Hearsay is that the former owners' relatives lived on the other side of the stream uphill, and they used to cut through the woods. So that's why there's a pretty intensive web of footbridges and garbage in the woods. So it would be good to see that cleaned up. And conservation markers. But otherwise, certainly the removal of this pavement and restoration to lawn would meet the requirements of a negative finding.
Okay, thank you. I don't usually try to swap things around, but Doug, this is a new plan with a lot of stuff going on. You want to go first?
oh,
Yeah, I mean, he's removing the pavement, and that a lot of that is in the riverfront area, so that certainly is a positive.
Is that getting replaced
Yeah.
by grass Josh?
Yes.
Okay.
That's it.
So Josh, there's a few select trees shown on the plan. Does that mean so the grass? Oh, I see. Man, the whole place is grass.
Mm.
Yeah, they cleared back behind the house. So
Okay, okay. I
I think
see
you
it.
were
Yeah.
you talking about the trees off the corner of the addition?
No, down back towards,
Oh.
all the way towards, the watershed line and everything like that. Just there's a lot of grass out there. So I don't know. I don't really see what Amy was referring to as far as footbridges and stuff like that, but I haven't visited the site.
Leave their off
Um,
property.
Side.
They're off property.
I believe so.
Oh.
Yeah, they're off property. They're on the land owned by
The
Judith
sellers, Sellinger,
Sellinger's property. Yeah.
okay.
Okay.
I mean, but it's like standing water wetland. You know what I mean? Depending on the time of year.
Okay. So it's pretty obvious. All
It's
right.
the swamp.
Yeah. I mean,
Yes.
It's
it-
actually, it's the South Swamp.
I mean, it's the south. I mean, I understand what it looks busy because but a lot of what that is like there's a lot of existing stuff in there that
Right.
like there's like the solar water heater and stuff. Is that stuff staying there? Is that being removed?
Being removed.
The existing garage is going to. I still see what's a little confusing is that and they've got it shaded back nicely, but there's just so much that I think. But when you look at the heavier lines of what's proposed, it's really, to me, it's pretty straightforward. There's just a lot of detail on the plan. So I can,
There's
it
a whole
looks,
big section of that house that's being removed.
yeah, there's a big garage. There's like all that driveways being removed. In a section of that house, and then there's the additioning goes in there. I think so. When you break it down into those things, I don't think it's it's well outside of the 100-foot buffer zone, all the work. So I would think that, I mean, the only question I had is like, do we want to add some mitigation in some of those areas of, putting maybe some native vegetation back, but this is an RDA. I'm not, I'm not really thinking that we are good. I need to do that.
Well, the only thing,
I
Jeff,
think,
the part that I think, and they made a point to it, they came in and asked for some relief on the 200-foot riverfront because literally the corners of that house are touching the 200-foot riverfront, and they know they can't build that without disturbing more of it. So
right.
I mean, I'm not looking to right the world here, but I think there's a couple of small things that could be done in the back that would enhance that that wetland. I mean, it's a pretty significant. The South Swamp is it's one of our bigger resource areas in town, and it goes into the Merritt Brook, which flows under Clap Road right down the street. And I think over the years, certainly not this applicant, but whoever they bought it from and subsequent ones have moved
crept a little bit.
They've crept back into the wetlands and buffer areas. So to reel some of that in, I think it's a good time to do it. If it gets put on a plan and there's markers, and then, we don't know how zealous the next owner is, but at least we can say, these areas, even though they're a buffer and they should come before us, if they're delineated now, it might help a little bit in protecting that back area.
I mean,
Yeah.
can we do is conservation markers along, I mean, it's not shown on the plan, the 50-foot, but where the Aquifer Protection District, which is the cyan line, that's pretty much the 50-foot line as well. If we put conservation markers along that line on the back, kind of protects from both properties,
To me, that
all
would,
on this property.
I don't know, that's my, I mean, I'm jumping ahead of the game here with you guys, so.
I mean, that's fine with us.
Yeah, I guess I would, that's what I would think is you'd go to along the 50. Spaced out reasonably. And then hopefully that helps. Prevent any more. I mean, I don't. We're not requiring them to replant the whole 50 though, are we?
No, I think if they had markers up, that
It's
was,
Mother Nature.
yeah, it won't take long. For that to,
Revegetate on its own.
Yeah.
Rewild.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's a good line to put it at myself, but we get a few other members here. I was just trying to sort out some of the stuff that's going on around the house, but like you say, it's pretty much out of our jurisdiction anyways. So other than removing that piece of the driveway, everything else is upside of that. Okay. Penny?
Yeah, the pool's going because that would be in front of it. So that's good. And I think the markers on the 50-foot, I mean, if we keep raining like this, that's gonna fill in real quick in the 50-foot buffer. I mean, I just know what's going on in my yard. So no, I'm fine with it. It's just was a little confusing at first to me. Very confusing, but I have it now in my head what's going on.
Jen?
Thank you.
Yeah, this has been a head scratcher for sure. But I think I'm good. I had to refresh my memory what cyan was, but I think I'm all set.
Well, instead of the 50-foot, he's just basically going to go along that floodplain line.
Oh yeah, I didn't.
The aqua color.
Calling it cyan. I was like, what is this?
Oh, that's the.
All right.
Doug got that right away.
It's
Yeah,
the color.
Yeah.
It's the color you're wearing, Jen.
I know, but I'm like, it's blue.
Oh boy.
What about Brendan? Where's
What
Brendan?
about him?
Is
Yeah,
he
what about
here?
me?
Let him speak.
We're waiting to hear.
Oh, I thought I should be quiet. I have nothing. Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. Anybody
All
in the
right.
audience? Do we have anybody in the audience on this one? So what's the frequency that we want to see those markers at? $50 feet,
No,
75 feet?
no, closer, 25.
That's a lot of markers.
No, it's not.
25 is a lot, is pretty close together. I don't know.
Well, the side of my house is 25 feet. That's a good. I mean,
Front of your house,
front-
the front of your house is probably 50 feet,
It
45.
is.
Yeah.
I'd be happy with. It's
All
wide
right.
open. I'd be happy with 50 because it's so open. You
Well,
can see between them.
that's fine. And if they don't do anything back there, that'd be good. And like I said, it should fill in really quick this year.
We could make the markers cyan colored.
Oh, please.
Can we?
Oh,
Yeah, why not?
Let's stick to the norm. All right. We
I'm
could be out of
melting
here
up
pretty
here.
quick. It's 5 after 7. We could move this meeting to a new record.
Yeah, well, it's getting hot upstairs here.
right.
Can I make a motion to, this is another
Amy,
-3.
Amy, do you want to add anything to this before we?
No, I think you guys nailed it.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Right.
I make a motion for a -3.
For which one?
Oh, the one we're talking about now, we already did the
Lot
other one.
lot
Frank.
six.
Lot 6.
Six,
Okay.
Lot
yes, the
All right. That's a
existing.
motion from Penny. Do I have a second?
I'll second it, Brendan.
That's from Brendan. All in favor, Doug,
Yes,
Jen,
Yes.
great. And Frank, yes. Good. Thanks, Josh.
Thank you. Have a good night.
You too.
Back again,
Um,
it's cool. Oh.
Okay. I just got a couple of quick things here. We had a request from Troop 7 that they have been collecting damaged and worn out American flags. And apparently they dispose of those in a ceremony, a flag burning ceremony. That's a positive thing. And they would like to do it up in Appleton Field sometime in the fall or when it's the appropriate time to do that. I don't know if anybody's been into the transfer station, but they've had a big collection box where people can bring their old American flags, and the scouts do that, and they'll use a burn barrel or some other contained sort of thing and work with the fire department, but they're asking, you know, I guess with the smoke and whatnot, that they put it out there. I don't have a strong feeling other than this
I think
seems
it
like
sounds
they're
great.
doing
When
something
do
that,
they want to do it, Frank? Because I have 4 flags in my back room. I'd like to.
get them down to the transfer station.
Okay,
I don't think they've set a time yet, Penny. They're trying to
okay,
work. but
okay.
they-
No, I'll take them this week down there.
You think with the environment, and so it's like thinking of that at the 4th of July with all the fireworks going off and all the fires in Canada, like, do we really need more pollution in the air? But I guess that's
Oh, well,
the appropriate way to dispose of them. So,
well, today was a bad day. They said the,
okay. So anybody have any, Penny, you seem okay?
I'm
Um,
fine with it. No,
Doug?
anything the scouts want, I'm for it.
yeah, I'm okay.
Jen,
Yeah, I'm good. Sounds like a great
Okay.
idea.
Brendan?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Great, thank
Right.
you. Okay. Also, while we're on Appleton Field, the Mount Hope Association is holding a event in the fall, October 14th, and they'd like to do hay rides. And before the new access road, we used to go up the old road and into the field, and they're hoping to take tractor rides up to Appleton Field again. And I think there's enough room for them to be able to, we'll check it out, but the whole idea was that we could get tractors and stuff in there for the farm field. So they're looking for permission to do that on October 14th.
And
And since
Bill,
Brendan and I are both involved in the Mount Hope Association, it's probably better that Penny and Doug and Jen weigh in on that.
my only concern, Frank, would be tractors going up the driveway. I mean, we just got it re-leveled and all the holes filled in. That won't
No,
damage.
it's a rubber tired tractor.
Okay, thank you. That's all was my only concern. Sounds like fun.
Doug?
I insist on horse-drawn carriages.
Well, I'd
it's-
like that too.
It's more Norman Rockwellish.
Ah, jeez. All right.
But it doesn't happen anymore, Doug.
Okay, all right, well,
Bad.
rubber tire tractors are fine then.
Okay. Jen?
I mean, whatever Doug wants, it's fine with me. So
Maybe
I'm supportive.
Eloise could take a tractor ride in the fall.
Yeah,
She'd like that.
Okay.
I'm sure she would.
All right. So I had a little discussion. Penny, I had the good fortune of attending CPC meeting with Penny last week.
Oh, fun meeting.
And basically what is going on is that with the work that we have been doing with Damon, Appleton, Bates Lane, Higgins McAllister, all those projects, it started like in 2017, right, Penny?
Yeah.
And we had the original money, but not enough money to do Damon. And then we had some more money appropriated, but we still didn't have enough. So we got a third appropriation. But then we were able to do some of Damon using town materials and things like that. So at the end of the day, we have about $150,000 that we will not be expending for those projects. And once we kind of check everything out, make sure we've done everything as built, all the sort of things that we need to do, the idea would be that we would turn that money back to CPC. And then that goes
Huh.
into their fund. But by the same token, what we'd like to do is think about future projects. So we just went before CPC just to informally tell them kind of where we were at right now. And also sort of what our goals are coming forward, that we have hopefully Sunset Road will close fairly soon. And at that point, we might be looking for some trail and parking improvements out on First Cliff. Penny's already got money appropriated for Mordecai Lincoln. We have some money approved to do some design work at the Driftway Park, but we know we need to do a lot more work at the Driftway Park. And you know,
MBTA berms.
yeah, who knows if another piece of property might come forward. And then there's the Border Street Field, which I think I had spoken about at earlier meetings, that Jen and I had kind of met informally with Selectwoman person Canfield, and Jen had a great idea with some interactive trails there. So just sort of wanted to talk to CPC about their feelings and how they looked at projects and what they'd be up for as we move forward. So it was all positive, and they're continuing. You know, I think we'd get good support from them if we have the correct projects moving forward.
Yeah.
And I'm
But
glad
so
that
is there any project on for this town warrant, which just opened and it closes like right away for fall?
I don't think we have time.
No, we don't. CPC's deadline was July 1st for that, Amy. So, but we could still look for something, but we have to do it by October 1st, get an app in. All right, for big town meeting in the spring.
So that's what we should be thinking about. If we want to have a article for Springtown meeting, what was the cutoff date, Penny? It's in October.
October 1st.
So we do need to think hard about that.
Well,
Yeah.
we also need to think not necessarily CPC, but we need to think about whether capital request is the appropriate way to maintain some of those open space lots and access.
Well,
I think that's the point that we have to keep driving home, and maybe that's, do we want to ask for that at a special town meeting?
Well, if it's a capital request, well, obviously that's not going to go for special because we don't have any support or have anything together for that. But I think that, like, if it's in the conservation budget,
yes.
I'm gonna get the budget email, sadly, like within the next probably 4 weeks. Time to do your budget, Amy. So, and if it capital requests, I think, come out before then. But I don't know. So I think, Frank, it might be, we need to talk to Jim about it.
Okay.
I definitely feel it should be put in, because I know we have support for CP for conservation to get funding to maintain those roads without waiting for somebody else to do it. All
Well,
right.
the same goes with some of the fields, in order to keep the fields
Yeah,
mowed.
exactly. So we should definitely put in, Amy, for maybe 10, 20,000 for maintaining. And if we don't use it, we'll give it back, but we've got to get funding from somewhere for maintaining these beautiful spots. Or they're just gonna go to crap.
Is it out of the question, Amy, to look for
Agreed.
that?
I mean, it's
For a special
short
town meeting,
money.
well,
No, not for special, for
Well, why
spring.
not? Why not for special
Oh, well,
town meeting?
okay, fine,
It's a question.
yeah.
it may not be out of the question. I mean, I've got some wording that I was planning on using, the same wording that another town used. I mean, we don't need to make everything up ourselves, right?
Yeah.
You just use their wording and insert your own number. So, I mean, it doesn't hurt to ask.
Why don't you and I look at that and see if we can't put something together, a combination of maybe getting a couple of those fields mowed, like Appleton and Border Street, and maybe a little bit of road improvements, if we could get that into a capital one for the fall town meeting.
And
Right. Because the thing is you put a number on it but then there's gonna have to be, it's the backup associated with the number. You
Yep.
know what I mean? So we need to be able to justify it. And so that's just kind of, it takes time, that's all. And so if we can do that, I think it's not so much the wording and the request, but it's backing it up and trying to figure out just what we need and how much we need and justify the cost.
Amy, we
Yeah.
got an estimate last year from Northern Oaks for the driveways out to the properties for $10,000 to keep them maintained every year and plowed. And then, you know, we could get a figure. I mean, I have that, I'm sure downstairs, his proposal.
Great.
All right, so we already have that, and we could get a figure from somebody for mowing those fields. I know I just want to do Mordecai Lincoln once a year because Andy said that is the best thing for the wildlife, to let it grow all spring, summer, and just mow it in the fall.
Is the
So-
town currently mowing it?
No money.
No, nobody's mowing that property at all?
No,
Okay, all
but
right. We'll
actually,
have to catch up on that because we don't want to spend too much time on this right now. and
Okay,
weeds,
but let's,
all right,
if everybody's in agreement, then let's try to pull a little bit together and we can get some feedback and some info out.
yeah.
Does that make
so-
sense?
Yeah, I'd hate to see it keep going, snowballing, and especially the roads.
How about if
Roads
we,
come up.
how about if somebody makes a motion that we, to possibly, or put an article before fall town meeting for maintenance of some roads and whatnot, and a number for a figure to be determined.
I make a motion that we put together a proposal for special town meeting this fall for maintaining the roadways into our property and for mowing the fields once a year each.
Okay, that was Penny. Or
Somebody
second,
want a second?
Second from Jen.
Thank
second,
you.
all in favor, Doug,
Yes, yes.
Brendan,
Yes.
Frank, yes, great, thank you. Perfect.
I'll get that proposal up to you, Amy.
Okay. I wanted to, we talked about maybe a site visit for the Glades where those houses burned, but I think that has sort of been pulled together. There was a lot of back and forth between the building department, the architect, engineers, property owners on how these houses would get resituated, but I think that's been pretty well hammered out. And I think both Amy and I are the opinion that we probably don't need a site visit for that one. But I am thinking, we've had that discussion about the proposed pier for 196 Edward Foster Road, and we have the opportunity. August 4th is a Friday, and at 8 a.m. Friday morning, we have a minus 1.3 tide. And so we were thinking about having the applicant stake out the location of that pier and float. And that way members can see its location. If you remember, there's a lot of folks on questioning different things about that project. So it would give our members, you folks, a good chance to see just where that is going to go. The reason it has to be so early is we got to catch that tide.
Sounds good to me. I'll be there.
So we'll get a notice out, but I think we'll try to arrange some sort of site visit for that Friday.
For August 4th, right?
Correct.
Yeah, for the 8 AM low tide.
Yep.
Okay, perfect. I already, engineers ready. They just wanted me to confirm, so. And I think I sent everybody an email too, so,
Okay,
Okay.
great.
Yes, you did, Amy.
great. Let's
All
move
right.
on.
So
Certificates of compliance.
I think I'm out of my court, so it's now certificates of compliance for 156 Turner Road and 27 Hood Road,
Yeah, 29
Ocean, 15 Gardner.
and 10 new Driftway.
Okay, and you're good with these?
Yes,
Okay,
all right, okay. Ratify enforcement orders, replication plans. First one's 90 Summer Street.
yeah,
I sent both of these out, so I can screen share them if you want me to, but, or we can, I can just give you the feedback that I have, so. Actually, I'd like to try to screen share. I was fooling around with that, but, it's like, am I screen sharing this right now? That you see our memo?
no,
But yeah,
No.
yes,
I am?
you can see the memo.
Oh, okay,
See
good.
the-
All right, so
This-
this is 140 Hatherley Road. So
I'm not
this is-
getting
I'm not seeing it. I'm only seeing the PowerPoint.
yeah,
you
Yeah.
are.
it's on
Yeah.
The agenda.
the agenda.
I'm
Stop
sorry.
There.
Oh, now I see Doug and Amy.
Okay, but wait a minute. Screen share. Oh, I think I can do this. Okay, how about now? Now,
Okay,
Yeah.
now we have it.
okay, now you're getting, this is the ECR report for 140 Hatherley. So that was the single family home. First home you come to before Toll Brothers as you come up from the harbor.
Yeah,
On the right. Anyway, so they did get Brad Holmes out there, and this is just some pictures of kind of like what happened. Some stuff was cut down, but anyway, so there's actually valid orders for this property with Toll Brothers. And this plan here shows that 50-foot wetland buffer that was identified by, I believe, Toll Brothers, and that was their limit of work of, you can't go further than this. And so now they're proposing native meadow habitat and then some shrubs behind it.
okay, nice.
Brad did get a slightly different line, but anyway, so this is what they're proposing, and I think it looks good. I think it's something you could vote to ratify and accept their replication plan, should you choose to.
Well, that was quick to get that one in.
Yeah, and so
Yeah.
their name is Roth. The guy that I'm dealing with is Chris Roth is the owner's name and his.
Is the replication on his property or on?
It is.
Okay.
It is on his property.
Somebody got carried away.
Yes.
So can I make a motion that we accept this planting plan, restoration plan?
Do we
For
need to?
140 Hadley Road?
Well, should there be
Or if you
conservation
have-
markers there?
It would be a good idea.
They never hurt.
Good idea.
At the 50, we used to ask for them all the time. They don't stay up long, but at least we are trying.
Right, because you never know when the property's gonna sell again, right?
I know.
Okay,
Okay.
perfect, great.
So I made that motion. Somebody want to second it? Well,
I'll second that.
was Doug, all in favor? Jen?
Yep.
Brendan
Yes.
and Frank, yes. Okay. And then the other one is 90 Summer Street.
Yep.
That's the one he
let's
wiped
see.
the whole back out.
It is. I wonder if this one I'm gonna be able to do though. Let's see.
Well, you emailed it out to us.
Right. Sorry, it's just a little bit above my pay grade, haha. This whole screen sharing thing. Okay. 90, like I have 90 summer on. But I'm not seeing the, oh, nope, that's,
You see that?
there's a way.
Oh,
I
yeah.
Should be able, oh, can you drop
Oh,
off?
Oh, we,
Put me in, enlarge my, instead of Penny.
This is, I can't believe I can't seem to do this right now. This is so
Yeah.
stupid.
I can pin Frank if you want him to just hold that up while everyone looks. So see that? Now anyone can talk. It'll stay right there.
I should be able to like drag this into the PowerPoint or something, right? Anyways, I don't want to mess.
I,
It would probably be easiest if you all looked at what I sent around, honestly.
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay.
Okay.
I personally think they need to put more in than just that little corner.
Well, there were two plans. There's planting plan 1 and then planting plan 2. And if you look at plan number 2, all right, plan number 2 is just the corner, but plan number 1. So there's 2 areas where they, 2 separate areas where they entered into that 50-foot buffer.
Mhm.
Yeah.
On the right and the left.
Yeah,
But all they're showing is some work in that upper corner. They're not showing anything
Right.
in.
True. Yeah.
So
Amy, when I went out there that day and took those pictures, there was over 20 trees down.
Oh, no doubt. They took down a lot, but
Well, I counted,
not everything was in
I
that
understand
50-foot
that.
buffer.
but I don't think that's enough what they're proposing there. Personally, but the rest of the board, I don't know.
Okay, well, so I can give that feedback to them.
Well, I don't know what everyone else thinks. Speak up.
Well, I'm trying to find that plan. It should be in my email, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
it went out at 5:05 PM.
Yeah, I resent it out to this evening, so you'd have it handy.
Oh, here it is, right.
I would agree with Penny.
Yeah.
I agree as well.
So there's the mortgage plan. So they're gonna,
There we-
they're. I'm trying to under.
So
They're
they
gonna
just
re-
took the mortgage
yeah.
plan and they kind of overlaid a little.
the
Well,
50-foot
look at
buffer
this.
on there. And they're going to plant where? Between the 50 and the wetland?
No, the if you look at plan 2, it just shows a little planting of the top corner.
Okay.
Along that 50-foot buffer, but nothing at the other location.
Planting, oh, here it is, plan number 2. Okay.
take a ride out there, you'll drop your teeth.
Oh, I see.
The only thing is, are they? But they're not revegetating in the buffer at all. They cut not only the buffer, but the wetlands.
Ah,
So what,
look,
so
I
what,
did it.
yeah,
That's better, but. I mean,
And there's
So-
a narrative, yeah.
that first plan, that plan number 1 shows where the buffer, where the wetlands are in the buffer, and someone just took a tape and pulled out to a few flags. Because this isn't a surveyed plan, it's just somebody overlaid on a mortgage survey.
Correct.
Sure.
So it's just kind of their rough sketch of where that, so what they're saying is that buffer sort of,
But the buffer next to the other wetland is not being, they're not doing anything there.
well, what's silly is the buffer, Doug, doesn't even connect, like they're following
Right.
that A8 flag or something is sort of doing part of that wetlands, and then with the
Right,
wetlands
5.
flag 5, but then so that 50-foot buffer line sort of goes away.
Yeah, it should, yeah, connect there. And
If you want, I can get the wetland scientist to try to give us a little bit more clarification, but I met out there with her and she seemed to think that there were two different separate systems out there. And I know the one on the southwestern corner, that there's definitely a break of slope from the lawn that goes down into there for sure. And then on the right, honestly, I didn't go back in there because there was a bunch of mad briar and stuff, but I know it wasn't tremendously wet either, but it's, I guess it's wetland vegetation. So, but I mean, I could contact the owner. We can try to get the wetland scientist on, or we can just ask them if they can beef this up a little bit more.
It seems to me like it should be larger than it is.
That's-
But yeah,
If
why don't
you
you see what you could come up with, Amy?
Okay, but in the meantime, you can ratify the enforcement order, just not accept the replication plan.
Okay,
I'll make a motion, we ratify the enforcement order
For
for
90 Summer
90
Street.
Summer Street.
that's Penny with a motion or second from anybody.
I will second that, Brendan.
That's Brendan, all in favor, Doug,
yes,
Jen?
Yep.
And Frank, yes. Okay. Enforcements, do you want to? Seems like we've heard from a few of these this evening.
Yeah, and so, well, okay, good news is 67 Collier Road. I have a
Oh, yeah.
geologist that I sent out a request for 53G funding to the owners. I haven't heard back from them yet, but I do have a coastal geologist. It's ready to go out and do a site visit and give a letter.
Good.
8 Westgate is a notice of intent that's pending with us. I'm going out with Art Allen on Wednesday afternoon.
Westgate,
Yeah,
where's that?
off of Country.
Westgate.
Yeah, it's like
It's
go
it's a little
down,
tiny
take a
road off of,
left, it's on the right, across from those,
across from the Egypt garage, Penny, you go in.
yeah, exactly.
Oh, oh. Oh,
It's
Yeah.
just a little dead end road off of,
yeah, I guess so. I
There's
didn't even know it was there.
They wouldn't, because it was a sleeper. And,
Yeah.
okay, and then 184 CJC, they keep promising me this big update, but I haven't seen it. And
Oh.
17 Pond View, Chris Lyden, we talked to him earlier.
Okay.
Okay, orders. Did you get the orders I sent out today?
Yes,
yes.
Good. You can make a motion on those, please?
Yeah. I make a motion. I'm gonna do them all together, people, because they're all good. I make a motion, we accept the orders of condition as written on 31 Brook Street, 129 Lawson Road, 184 Clap Road, and 162 Central Ave as written.
that's a motion from Penny, second from
I'll second.
Second from Jen.
Doug beat
Ooh.
you. Jeez. All in favor, Jen,
Yep.
Brendan,
Yes,
Frank, yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Orders of conditions?
You just
Remember
did
we
those.
just did
We
that?
just
We
did
just
those,
did
sorry.
them, honey.
Sorry. I'm
That's okay,
moving on.
Frank. It's the heat, it's the
It's the
humidity,
heat,
Yeah.
yeah.
the brain's
I'm
gone. to
trying to-
All
sleep.
right, so that was a great meeting, everybody. Thank you so much.
Can I just ask a question, since I had so much trouble getting on?
Yeah.
What happened to the NOIs?
Oh. We
129, 29 Surfside,
closed it.
closed, good.
Closed to, continued to.
439 Chief Justice continued,
Yep.
okay.
Westgate got continued.
Continued, okay, so then.
Hey, Central Ave, we
274.
closed it.
Okay, thank you. I was having a terrible time. My computer doesn't like me. So I guess we'll make a motion to adjourn. Stop laughing at me, Frank.
I'm not laughing at you. I'm struggling here.
Okay, so roll call.
So I got a motion from Penny. That
Uh,
means somebody has to second it. That was Brendan.
Brendan will second it.
I got that. All in favor? Doug,
Yes.
Jen? Jen's already
Yes.
gone.
No,
And
she's
Frank,
still
yes.
here.
I'm here.
All of
here.
you have a nice July. We'll see you in August.
All right.
All
All right. Bye.
Good night, everyone.
Bye.
Thanks, everyone.